I'm just making this video today really quickly to show you how I determine your graduates in the program football league. So here you have the home screen. And by the way, I have been making these videos and putting them under the links. These are these short little YouTube videos I have made for some of the top prospects. I'm going to keep working on these, and they're generally like 2 minutes or less, right around 2 minutes on average, I think. And it's just kind of talks a little bit about each of the top prospects. I'll probably cover running back, wide receiver, and quarterback for the most part. Maybe I'll do some defensive players later on, but I'm going to focus on the offensive players first. But while I'm doing those, it kind of does distract me from my big job, which is graduating all the players in the program football league. And I want to show you the process I go through to do that. And this isn't going to take very long. I'm just going to show you really quickly. First off, we have the site for this season. This is the current league site. What I do is I look at a team, and let's just take, let's go with Ohio State first over here, the Buckeyes. And I just have to go through each of these players one by one. And I start by just clicking on their name, and this will give me how many years they are in the league. Okay, you got Jalen Hurts at 6 years in the league. This is going to be something I have to question. There's a good chance that Jalen Hurts is graduating because at 6 years, he had to have two things. He had to have a regular red shirt, any kind of a red shirt, you know, like a he didn't play enough, or he was redshirted by Gerald Lane, in addition to an injury red shirt. And I'm not so sure that he has that injury red shirt. Of course, I could just go back over here and check on this part of the website where I talk about the draft with the draft restrictions. And Ohio State has no restrictions, so obviously I've already looked into Jalen Hurts, and he is going to be retiring, graduating, so his career is done in the program football league. So that was an easy one for me. I have to just keep on going down the line, so I'm just going to make this quick. Again, I just don't want to talk too much on this video. I just want to make it quick. I'm going to show you an example of what happens here. Najee Harris. He's in his 5th year right now. You click on that there, and it'll show you his years. He's in the league 5 years. So in order to be eligible this season, he would have to have a red shirt of some sort. Could be an injury red shirt or a regular red shirt. So here's where I have to do my research. Generally, when a guy is going to be redshirted, it's going to be in his rookie season. So if I go back to 2021, that was when Najee Harris was a rookie. That's what I would do. I have all tabs open back to 2020 in the program football league. I do that ahead of time when I'm about to do my research. So let's go over here. You can either type his name right here in the box in the field if I'm not really sure who he played for, but I know he played for Ohio State. So I'll just pull up Ohio State, and what I do here is now I do a Control F search for Najee. There it is. Okay, so now his name has been highlighted everywhere he shows up. Najee Harris. For some reason, it didn't show it here. But what I'm looking at is the transaction list. And I see that Najee Harris was activated on December 14. Now, our season, as you know, the bowl season begins pretty much in early to mid-December. So when somebody's being activated at that time of the season, I pretty much know he was probably a redshirt. I'll go back and see when he was placed on the farm, and he was placed on the farm way back in July. So it's pretty obvious that Najee Harris was a redshirt that season. Another thing I look at is when I look at the transactions for a team, say they have a player who's maybe not a superstar, but he's a player they picked up somewhere. I look to see how late in the season he was signed. If he was signed late enough in the season, that's generally like late November into December, he probably played less than 5 games, which means he is eligible for a red shirt. And then, of course, there's always the points red shirts. The guys, if they didn't score enough points in a particular season, and the drawing line there is 11. So, and what I do is I look at his past, and if there was a season where he scored 11 or less, there it is, 2024. That's what you call a retro red shirt. So anyways, I hope that clears a few things up and shows you what I have to go through. And that's just the teams. Then I have to go through the free agent lists and make sure that nobody on the free agent lists are ineligible to play this season. Okay, that's all I've got. Talk to you guys soon.